viva Italia, que viva Rusia ahí, que viva Francia, Argentina, Brasil, todo el mundo ahí.
Holly.
Les mandamos un buen abrazo y un beso a todos ahí, a ustedes.
Polly and the Latino Slant, you are a white passing racist Latino.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The Slant.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version. All right, Polly, let's go. All right, listen, y'all. Just go ahead and let the guest play. Come on, jeez. That's better. There I go.
What's going on? Hey, everyone, it's Polly, the Latino Slant. It is our night edition. We actually had a morning show today. If you missed that, it's on the channel. What a great conversation that was, and what this promises to be a continual of that. Now, if this morning was in regards to the knee-jerk reaction of a Latina being cast as Snow White, for better or for worse, those reactions, then this is going to be about the need for Latinos to unite in Hollywood and support each and any project out there. So we have more success, we have more projects, good work begets good work. And, you know, what am I talking about, Polly? Well, when In the Heights came out, and now it's been almost 2 weeks at this point internationally and collectively. It has made just under $22 million, $55 million budget. So yeah, it's chugging along, and I do recommend the film. It's a fun film, especially if you love musicals. There was an immediate reaction to and from Afro-Latinas, Latinos that didn't see themselves in the movie. So they thought it necessary to tear down not only the Asian American director, but the creator of this property, Lin-Manuel Miranda. And then, you know, Rita Moreno came to his aid. Then she took back her words. Here at the Slant, we just supported the project, and we still do, as we are not into bullying, and there's nothing productive that comes out of it. Trust me. So when I saw that our special guest was holding his own on Facebook, telling it like it is, and just being honest, and just a really clear, great voice of reason within the community, I was like, I have to invite him on the show. Who is him? Him is writer, director, creator of the TV show Resurrection Blvd, Dennis E. Leoni. Now, Dennis has done, he's a pioneer, guys. Not only did this show go for 3 seasons on Showtime, which is 53 episodes, I believe, 52, 53. I don't think any other Latino television show has done that since to date, and let's hope that changes. But he's been a pioneer in the business for decades. Okay? He's won every award that you can think of. Here's a list right here. Norman Lear Writers Award, Imagen Foundation. Alma Awards, GLAAD Awards, Golden Eagle Awards, Prism Award, Vision Award, Impact Award. He helped. He was on the board. I believe he was on the founding board members of NALIP, the National Association of Latino Independent Producers. I mean, this man puts his. He doesn't just talk the talk. He walks the walk, and God bless him. So he's here. He's here now. Here was a great comment that he had put up, and he doesn't know I'm going to do this, but you know, he put it up. It's public. I'm going to read from it. and I want you guys to check it out. Let me see, where is it at? And I'll say hello to you guys before I bring him on. Here we go. You don't have to be a space alien to play a Martian, or actually drink blood to play a vampire. That's why they call it acting. I'll give you that Chuck Connors playing Geronimo or Eli Wallach as Calvera was whitewashing, but I refuse to believe Tony Plana, Elizabeth Peña, or Isai Morales playing Mexican Americans is. La Bamba was great. Please don't tell me you didn't like La Bamba. Lou, Isai, and Elizabeth were not Chicanos, but I believe Luis Valdez and his brother Danny and Rosana de Soto and Jeff Rivas is. And Los Lobos, who did the music, definitely are. They were all Latinos who played Mexican Americans or contributed to a movie that gave so many Latinos opportunities, not to mention the community pride. I will always choose to be productive over counterproductive. I choose to create opportunity. Wow. I love it. I love it. That is awesome. So let me say hello to our great chat that is here. Rick Sanchez, PhD. Let's make Alita Battle Angel. Let's do it. What do you mean, like the TV show version or part 2? Jacob Archer Barton. To me, it doesn't matter who's playing White Snow. Snow White in the live action movie. 300. Yes, watch it. Okay, I'm okay. Well, hi, 300 Mirrors. It's so good to have you here. Hola. Hi, how are you? And then, of course, we have Stephen Otten, our member. We have a couple of members here. And excuse me. You're saying Mucha Lucha, but I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I apologize. You know what? Can you phonetically spell it out for me, please? Clobbering Times is here, holding it down, a great wrench in the chat, and a great guy in the community. He has a wonderful, wonderful channel. Reggie Johnson. Reggie. I bet Reggie appreciates Resurrection Blvd. He's a boxer, martial artist, and a musician. So, yeah. Hola. Great. So, do me a favor. If you haven't already, please share this stream. Hit the like. I have done so on Twitter. Just pass it out. Let people know we're going to be here for the next hour, having a fantastic talk. Wonderful. Let's get strapped in, man, and let's start this conversation. We are joined now by creator, writer, director Dennis Leoni. Hey. How was your intro? You like that, sir?
No, it's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and
thank you, sir.
So we can talk about anything you want to talk about. Well, I am fearless.
Yes. Well, I guess the first thing is your impression on. There's so many. There's a lot of facets I want to hit with you. Obviously, your career, your experience in the business, getting your show done, which was a minor miracle. They're all miracles, right? But I think I want to just jump in on the controversy over In The Hieghts. Did you get a chance to see it? And what did you think of the kind of the counter reactions that followed, like really swiftly, like within the opening weekend?
Yeah, no, I saw it. I have HBO Max, but I also went to the theater to buy tickets so that I felt like I was supporting all the projects. The thing that I wrote on Facebook is, I want to say first and foremost that I understand the position that these people have taken to say things about Lin-Manuel, that he didn't include them, that Chu didn't include them. I'm not sure I quite agree with all of it, and that's probably why I wrote the thing on Facebook, because I've been through this non-support thing, and it's really it's been a fist fight, and it's always been a fist fight to even get anything on. So I make a point of never saying anything negative about any project that by or about Latinos, because I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
I will say this: I don't like all the projects that we do. I don't enjoy them.
Right. Just because they're Latino. Correct. Yeah.
But that's why they make red cars and they make blue cars. Some people are going to like it. Some people are not.
Right.
Resurrection Boulevard wasn't the be all and end all of every Latino show or for every Latino. But I expected Latinos to come and support it. I had these two girls in the focus group step forward and say, well, that's not my family. Well, what is your family? Maybe they're vampire slayers because you watched Buffy. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand this negativity.
Yeah.
On the other side, for people to come out publicly against something, if they felt like they didn't want that, they should have written a letter to Lin-Manuel, or they should have written a letter to John Chu or I can't remember the writer's name. It's so bad because I'm a writer and I can't remember her name. She has
Lin-Manuel's writing partner. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I forget her name as well, but I think she's Latina, but
is it Quijera or
I don't remember, but
like
I see your point, you know, and even if you don't write the letter, which I respect you, sir, that is old school and respectful of you to be like that. It's like we all, and I think that was the problem, is that In the Heights wasn't going to solve all the Latino Hollywood's problems. It's like, yay, we've arrived. It's like, that's just kind of like, you're dreaming, but it's important to support with our dollars, which I did as well.
Yeah, and I know that some of these people still went and saw it, and I can understand the feeling marginalized or disenfranchised or disrespected or left out but I mean, I still have people come to me and they're mad at me because I didn't put them in Resurrection Boulevard.
Really?
Still come to me.
It's been about 20 years. They're still coming to you?
I know. It's like, Jesus, wow. we only had 3 years. So, we only hired over, I think Bob Marones told me we hired over 500 Latino actors. And we had a crew with, Jesus Trevino and Sylvia Morales. And I put 4 directors single-handedly in the Directors Guild. Myself included, Michael De Lorenzo, Tony Plana, Elizabeth Pena, and I think we had one other that, our whole crew was a melting pot. And I don't want them to think that I'm somehow racist against white people and that I don't like white people. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I got a letter when we did Resurrection. It's from some lady who thought that we were like picking on white people. But then I got another letter from a lady who got mad at me because we did a show about Tijuana, and the song that we picked was a Manu Chao song that was about Tijuana and marijuana and all that, And, it's like you can't make everybody happy.
You can't, but what you did was just what you said. You put people to work. You did 53 episodes for 3 seasons on Showtime. Let's go back. How did that even happen? And we have our other guest with us, and I just blasted him out on Twitter, and I'm excited to have him. Mauricio Mendoza also played, among other things, he played my girlfriend's husband in a play reading last year. He does a better voice. but he's an incredible talent. He's here with us now. Mauricio, how are you, sir?
Hey, I didn't do anything.
You were great in that. You were great in that reading, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Which reading was it?
It was the Island Plays.
The
Island Plays for Elisa Bocanegra's.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, with Romy Diaz. Romy's she's my better half, Romy.
Oh, got it. Awesome, brother.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Well, you're fantastic. You're a great talent, and thanks for your time, man. He's okay. Mauricio was also in the television show Resurrection Blvd, among other things. So, I'm glad you're jumping on with us because we got some stuff to talk about, man. A lot of stuff's been going on just with In The Hieghts and Sasha Calle, Supergirl. Now the Snow White being a Colombian woman. Well, she's technically half Colombiana, but I mean, what a time it is for Latino talent, and yet, you're always getting this from either side, right? Oh, she's not Snow White. Oh, there's not enough African Latinos in this one movie. Some crazy times, Mauricio.
It truly is. I always think I've only played in my 30 years of doing this now, and combining the theater and television and film, is that I've only played Colombian twice in my life. Twice. And the rest have always been a Mexicano. And I remember that Dennis got criticized by the community, again, the Latino community, which is hard to swallow sometimes, that why were there no Mexicanos or Chicanos to cast in the show? Remember that, Leoni?
Well, we had 4. Marisol Nichols is half Mexican. Ruth Olivier is all Mexican. She's a Mexican national.
Right.
Let's see. Nicholas Gonzalez is Mexican American.
Sorry if I'm cutting you guys off here, but here's a cast picture.
Right.
And so there were 3 Mexican Americans, and I tried to pick the best people I could. No present company accepted, but I tried to do a good job. And the reason that I did do it this way is number one, because of the talent, but also I was hoping to create a family of Latinos, of Latin Americans, where we had 2 Cubans and a Honduran and a Colombian and a Puerto Rican. And we are all a family of Latinos, and I thought it would be good for the audience. Viacom, of course, wanted Michael Lorenzo because it was Star coming off New York Undercover.
Yes, my bad. I really fast. I had said that Di Lorenzo was from 21 Jump Street. No, he was from New York Undercover. My bad.
No. New York Undercover. And Elizabeth Pena, I mean, she's a star. I mean, and Tony Plana, he still works constantly. I mean, and he was terrific. So I don't understand that. Of course, I know what it is. There's a professional jealousy, and I understand that. I mean, why didn't I get the part? Why didn't he cast me? Or why don't they like me? Because it's a very personal thing to be an actor. I know, because I was on that side at one time. I used to be an actor, and I wasn't a very good actor, and I was smart enough to stop being an actor. And, I had the characters inside of me. They're in my head, but I could never find that where I was as an actor.
But also, Leoni, I think part of the education aspect for the audience and for everybody is that I've been producing now for 10 years, and because I've been producing, I understanding of mixing and matching and casting has got to make sense. specifically if you're putting a family together, if you're putting a couple together, there's a mix and matching that happens that you have to be paying attention to. And some people automatically, when they meet, they just have chemistry.
Right.
And you go with that. You because that's 80% of any project is casting. 80% of it.
It's a very difficult thing to do too.
It's
very hard.
Let's back up.
Yes. Let's back
Mauricio,
up.
before Resurrection Boulevard, was there ever a all Latino cast for a television show that was actually had Latino actors playing themselves?
Well, I mean, if you go back way back, we got, not a show like Dennis created. There was a full-on cast, but we have, we have Ricky Ricardo, who listen, he started this whole thing, and he was a Cuban guy who, everybody forgets it's the I Love Lucy show, but everybody forgets he brought the Cuban side to that world. So that really is the first show of its kind where a Latino actor is the series regular on a show. And not only that, but he also was became the showrunner of the show. Not only that, but he created a studio off of that platform. He was given a platform to build upon and hopefully make change, which, unfortunately, the change didn't happen. It kind of stopped with Desilu. And then there has been, Chico and the Man, and then Que Pasa USA, and then Paul Rodriguez's show. I'm forgetting it right now.
Que Pasa.
Yeah, AKA Pablo, right?
AKA Pablo, yes.
So there has been shows, and there was always some show, but really, we were the first shows drama-wise. I think if you look at Chico and the Man and you look at AKA Pablo, they were the first comedies of its kind that had a full Latino cast. We were, as I know, as my history goes, when I go back, Resurrection Boulevard was the first Latino driven content that it was ever where the leads were all Latino, dramatic.
So for the audience that's just joining us or you've been listening, we're here with writer, director, creator Dennis Leoni and actor Mauricio Mendoza from Resurrection Boulevard. Now this is kind of an impromptu little reunion panel, but it's not. Like we'll get a real one going on, and that would be amazing. We've done these with other channels. We recently had Stand and Deliver, but I want to give insight and misconceptions because, a lot of my audience, they're so jaded from Hollywood and kind of just not bringing entertainment first. Maybe agendas are first now, and stories are second. It seems that you everywhere you look, that's kind of like what's been going on. Resurrection Boulevard was a boxing family in East LA. I mean, it doesn't get more narrow niche than that. And yet, what were some of the universal issues that this television show touched upon?
Well, we tried to do stories about the human condition and tried to show how Latinos are more like everyone else and they are different. And that was really the whole point. The boxing aspect is it's a metaphor for a family literally fighting for a piece of the American dream. And that's really where that comes from. I'm going to correct you, Paulie. You said about the first. We weren't the first, but the thing that made Resurrection Boulevard special is that it was a drama, and it was not only in front of the camera but behind the camera. Lots of Latinos, and created by a Latino, believe it or not. And that's really what made us different of the times. We talked about the genesis of the project, but my wife, who was vice president of drama for ABC for many years. She saw that there was a dearth of Latino showrunners.
Mhm.
There were none, and so she asked me to write in my own voice. So I wrote a script called La Reforma, which is sort of my wonder years growing up in Tucson. And I gave it to Jerry Offsay, who I knew, who I played basketball with. And he was at ABC Productions when I was doing Covington, well, not Covington Cross, but McKenna there.
Mhm.
And so he knew me, and that's how we really got the shot to do Resurrection Boulevard, because I gave him, he went to Showtime and he wanted a Latino show. He said, there's nobody doing this. So he said, what have you got? And I gave him La Reforma. He goes, well, this is very sweet, but we can't do it on Showtime. So I went home and I was watching a boxing Showtime, and a boxing match came on. And I thought, if I marry the boxing and the dark underside of boxing to this family, then maybe we can get on the air. And that's what I did. I went back and I pitched some boxing Latinos in Showtime. And Showtime at the time was doing all the boxing matches, except for what HBO had. But I think they were actually bigger than HBO at that time doing boxing. And that's how we sold the show. And we got on the air, and, the rest is history.
Mauricio, did you want to add to that?
My God, I think he really said it the best. I was completely and utterly blessed. I'm still grateful to Dennis. We've had a friendship of 20 some years now. We've worked together. We're working together. And Dennis is, he's a pioneer. He knows this, because I tell him all the time how important he is and how impactful he's been to this industry. And because he's one of the people I've met through my career that has vision, that has heart, that has integrity, and he was able.
Okay, you got the part.
He was able to,
The Hollywood. There's the Hollywood practice there of.
He was able to do the impossible. He was able to do the impossible, and he is by if you look back at the history of television, one of the few showrunners. I'm saying showrunners of a Latino show.
What is a showrunner? If you can explain that to our audience.
Well, the showrunner is a guy who is a writer who creates a show and then has the last word on just about everything. Because it's my responsibility to basically run the show, put it on the air, deliver the show. And, I had to sign the budget to make sure. And if we went over, then I was responsible for it. And, you're at the top you're the executive producer who is actually the buck stops here. And that's really what a showrunner is.
Right. And because he was a showrunner, see, they wanted a star in my place. They wanted a name, and this is where he was a pioneer. He had already names in the show, and he gave me an opportunity. He gave Marisol an opportunity. He gave Nicholas an opportunity. I was coming off the theater. I had just finished doing a year on a TV show called Angeles for Telemundo, but I had really broken into into American television. I'm auditioning. I knew they were looking for a name, and here was Dennis. He fought for me in the room, and this is what. And if we go back to Lynn and what they did with In The Heights, all these guys were not. They were unknowns to the public, meaning in the universal appeal, but these guys have a record on Broadway. All of these people have names on Broadway. And what Lynn did and John Chu did was all these people are going to be catapulted to a stardom and get an opportunity that they would have never, or it would have taken years for them to get this kind of opportunity. And when I was looking at the film, that's the thing that gives me hope about this industry, that there are people like Dennis and people like Lynn that fight for the underdogs. Because that's what we are out here. Because I, as a producer, understand that we got to get names into a project because they got to sell, right? They got to make money. I understand that. But there also has to be a balance. And Dennis understood that. Somehow he had a vision on it way back when it was not the right thing to do. He put his name on the line to bring me on, right? And I could have failed miserably, as I could have not done the part the way he needed me to do it. And then he would have gone, oh my God, what did I do here? I understood the opportunity that he gave me, the chance that he gave me. And that's why I'm so passionate also about being a producer and also taking the reins that Dennis taught me and continuing creating our stories, right? Because that's where we have the power right now as Latinos, is keep creating our content, getting our voices out, keep educating, but not coming off of it as, and which is what Dennis said, you can't be angry, right? We got to come up from a place of like, just keep In The Hieghts, to me, keep pushing this project forward, because it's change. Change will happen. Change will keep happening. But if we don't come together as a community, we're kind of screwed. We're kind of screwed.
Well, it's really about we have to support one another, because I get people come to me all the time and they say, I have a granddaughter, I have a daughter, I have a son or a grandson who needs a job. And I think, well, if I had a show, well, maybe I could give you a job, and I can't give you a job without a show. So, I keep trying to impress upon people that it's like, help me help you. And, it's if you don't support and do everything you can to create more opportunity for all Latinos, then no Latinos are going to have a chance.
Right.
And that's really my issue with the whole deal. I just, it breaks my heart that, some people feel that they didn't get a chance or they didn't get an opportunity, but maybe there's another thing down the road. I mean, right now I'm writing a thing with Mao and Michael, and I've decided that, we'll try to find something for a young woman, a Black Latina, or somebody like that, with that ethnicity, so that they don't feel left out. Because, like I said, I know what it's like to be marginalized and disenfranchised and feel like, like nobody gives a damn whether you work or not. And it's really a struggle, and I want people to understand that, and that we all have to get in the boat and row the same direction.
That's good.
But it seems now that Hollywood is catering to minorities, Latin this, Black that, Asian this, everywhere you turn. Isn't it an even playing field on all levels now, behind and in front of the camera?
Well, no, it's not, because if you look at some of the shows, they're not really, I mean, what they do a lot of times now is that they'll put actors out front and they'll make them producers. And they're not really the people running the show. They are out front, yes, and it's like McDonald's putting a Black guy at the counter. Well, yeah, he's an employee and he's working, and that's great, but he doesn't own the McDonald's. So what you want to do is find the person so that there's more opportunity for writers, directors, producers, executives, agents. The agencies are, in my opinion, are the worst. And I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but they control a lot of how the business operates,
The agents.
and the agents do.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, the
And, because they go and they suck up to all the executives, and the next thing you know, and it's not glamorous necessarily to go be, everybody wants to be an actor or a writer or a director or a producer or a showrunner or whatever, but the real power lies in being a lawyer or an accountant who works at the studio and runs the studio. That's where the power is.
So-
I get all the credit for Resurrection Boulevard,
Right.
but not really, because I always give the credit to Jerry Offsay. Jerry Offsay bought Resurrection Boulevard, and without Jerry, we got nothing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Mauricio, you
Yes.
have an answer to that question I asked you? Asked both of you guys actually.
No, Dennis is just said it. Again, it's I love the image that Leoni talks about. We got to be going in the same direction, and I was so interested because I was watching Bill Maher. I don't know if you saw Bill Maher the other day talking about Lynn not having. Why should he have to apologize? Has anybody seen? He said, has anybody seen Hamilton? The musical Hamilton. There's African Americans. I mean, he is. If anybody is serving their community, is Lynn, and he's just such a visionary. And I said it the other day on Facebook. To me, right now he's our new Tyler Perry, And Tyler Perry started in the theater, and he started creating his own content, not only his own content, but his own community. And he took theater to the community, and little by little, he started building. So then when things started happening for him, his community came with him. And I really thought In The Heights was going to be this new sensation. Because I have done the show. I had the chance to do the show at the San Diego Rep, In The Heights, and I played Kevin in the play. And I know the importance of this character and what it is, what it stands for fundamentally. So I was really surprised with the way it just was torn down in the media.
Well, let's put a pause on that, but we have some questions from people in the chat, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. We're here with Dennis Leoni and Mauricio Mendoza talking about Latino Hollywood, and you guys pay attention to what these guys are saying. This is some great inside information, and we don't want you guys to get in trouble. But hey, you know what? You can tell them Polly.
That's your job to get us in trouble.
300 Mirrors, who's a fantastic supporter of the channel, she says, for both, what needs to happen for the Latino community to come together and support more of each other's content? In your opinions, what's been the greatest obstacle in uniting us all?
Well, the greatest obstacle is the fact that as Latinos, many of us come from different countries, and the Cubans don't like the Puerto Ricans, and the Puerto Ricans don't like the Jamaicans, and they don't like the Ecuadorians, and they don't like the Uruguayans, or they don't like the Bolivians, or they don't like. It's nonsense. It's like we have to come together as a community and make people understand that if we're going to. I'll go back to what Mauricio said about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was pretty smart because he had all his plays, which was Medea. Remember the Diary of Black Mad Woman?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
I think that was his play, and he put it on what's called the Chitlin Circuit, which is a theater circuit in the South, and it was a big hit. And African Americans they support, good or bad. I have found that they support their own projects because they understand much more than we do, I guess, that without this support, nothing else is going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. There won't be more projects if we don't watch whatever goes out there. And look, I've seen some of Tyler Perry's stuff, and some of it's great, and some of it's not for me. I'll just put it that way. It's not for me. And I've seen Latino things. Some of it's great, and some of it's not for me. But I will never say anything bad about projects done by people of color because I know how hard it is to get on the air. Because I've been on all sides of this. I've been on the actor side. I've been on the producer side. Mm-hmm. I've been on the executive side because Debbie was. I mean, I know the intricacies of ABC and how it all worked. Bob Iger was the president of ABC when Debbie was there, so I know all these things. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want me to write a book, by the way.
The tell-all book.
The tell-all.
Yeah, that's sour grapes and other rotten fruit.
A member of the channel says, how would you describe the atmosphere of the studio towards Latino productions now as compared to 2000 when Resurrection Blvd was made?
Oh, well, the studios understand that there's a market out there, and so they're trying to operate in the way that they can. Obviously, they bring, like I told you, they will bring people in. Mm-hmm. Some people can produce, some people can't. But actors, a lot of actors, they have, like, if you look at most of the deals out there for Latinos, they're all actor deals. Mm. I dare you to find one guy. Well, I'm sure there's guys out there now, young guys, who have deals that are producers that started as writers or whatever, mm-hmm. but very few. Most of them are actors, and now they have segued into controlling their own projects. My beef with that is there's a bunch of other Latino producers out here that mm-hmm. have been ignored. And I happen to think that most of them could probably do a pretty good job. I mean, David Valdez, who I think is the best producer we have, doesn't have a deal.
And Valdez produced a lot of Clint Eastwood's movies, correct?
Correct.
He produced Unforgiven, Over the Range, Kevin Costner, The Green Mile, which was not Eastwood. He just came off of 2 movies doing Avatar in Australia. I mean, he's as good as we have, and he doesn't have a deal.
He's as good as anyone has. Yeah.
Incredible. Moctezuma Esparza doesn't have a deal. I don't have a deal. There's all kinds of people who don't have deals. And I'm not just talking about for me. Mm-hmm. Although I would like to have a chance to create more things, because the truth is well, I won't say it because Mao gets mad at me, but
yeah, you better not.
I won't say it, but I'll just say I won't be around forever, and there's got to be some young people coming up to open those doors and do good things. Not, some of the things we make are not the best, but then a lot of Anglo things that are made are not the best, but so we have to support. That's the bottom line.
Mauricio, I want to go back. I put a pause on your thought and your feeling about the instant teardown of In the Heights, which I feel was probably like the craziest thing I've ever seen as far as unrealistic expectations on a movie to first of all make one community happy, like to be the end all. But that tear down, it wasn't just constructive criticism. It was pretty cutthroat. How do you feel about that?
It was. It's very confusing for me. I've been pushing this boat forward with Leoni for such a long time that it was truly disheartening, because I, in my wildest dreams, never thought that it was going to be attacked this way, because it says everything that is just. Let's just talk about what it is to be just a Latino, right? Our pride is in that movie. Our work ethic is in that movie. Our music is in that movie. The way we feel about the American dream is in that. You name it. Anything that's Latino was in that movie. And it was a bafflement. And Leoni faced it during Resurrection Boulevard, when they were saying that our viewership within the Latino community was low, and that our highest viewership was the African Americans.
Well, white people.
But
55%.
I mean, so you just go, what? I don't understand how we're not going to always be everything to everybody.
But this is a different animal, Mauricio. There's that thing, right, that you guys faced. This is where they called Miranda and Rita Moreno names.
Yes.
I'm like, what? Words were made up to me. A white passing Latino racist, a white Puerto Rican, an old white lady who had to put on brown makeup to be in West Side Story. This is, to me, it's a sign of the times from this younger generation on how they react and tear anything down that they don't like.
Well, and I think you just said it, man. I think we're getting to a point where, I'm all for everybody speaking up and having rights and everything, but it's gotten to a point where it's just getting nasty in a way where you just go, I'm just going to keep doing my thing. Hopefully people will come and support my stuff. I'll follow my heart, because ultimately Lynn is following his heart and he has every right to have been able. He's been fighting to make this film for 20 years. And that battle that Leoni knows what it is, to just get it on the screen was already a battle. And now he's having to battle his own community. I'm dumbfounded. I really am. I have no.
It's heartbreaking.
But
it is. It's heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking, man. And then the fact that he had to apologize, it was very, very upsetting to me, guys. I have to be honest with you.
And not only that, but when I went on Facebook and I see Bill Maher, a white guy, defending him, I was like, wow, here's a white guy, Bill Maher, defending a Latino. And it was done so. I appreciated that he was able. He made it. Did you guys see it by any chance?
Oh yeah, we did a whole show on it here. I try to follow everything and chronicle what Latino pop culture. So yes,
everybody just talks. Everybody's being triggered, but nobody's doing any research, right? If you go back, Lynn is not the only movie that went out. If you go and look up at Blue Miracle that was on Netflix, beautiful movie, Latino cast. Then you look at Yes Here. It was a whole white Latin cast, beautiful movie. So things are moving, but people are not paying attention.
I mean, within the past month, we reviewed Blue Miracle, Dance of the 41, and the Blast Beat. You couldn't be more diverse within the Latino community. Story filmmaking style. I mean, this should be a time to be celebrating. And those questions of like, I guess you could say, well, were there any Black Latinos in there? No. So that is a good point to bring up. Bring it up like Dennis said. Bring it up in there. Here's what I would have done. Here's the poly creative solution. let's say I had a problem with you, Dennis, in your casting. You didn't cast how I wanted you to cast. I'm going to do the interview with you, and I'm going to say, hey, can I talk to you afterwards, sir? And I'm going to talk to you afterwards because I know that at this moment I have your attention, and it's been a positive exchange. I would never think to blast you in that first question, right? I'm going to give you the respect that you earned because you earned it. You worked hard. And then I'm saying, hey, can we talk for a few minutes? And I would address my my grievances. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I say you go after people privately. And but on the other hand, though, listen, I understand the other side. I understand those people who feel like they have a right to say something. I just happen to personally not agree that it should be public. That's all.
Yeah.
Sure.
They have every right to not be happy that there is not. I saw the movie. It looked like, I didn't have my color wheel, but it looked to me like if you check people's DNA, there were some black Latinos. And this is one thing I didn't understand. Now, I mean, look, Univision and Telemundo has been doing this for their whole existence. And so if you want to go after somebody, go after those guys. I mean, they have been ignoring black Latinos forever.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us in regards to Spanish television, Univision, it's a whole caste system. It's a whole system based on color. The whiter you are, you're going to be. Those are the prominent roles. The writing, everything is so like it's pretty intense. As far as like. We're even the ones on Netflix that we watch. We're like, oh my god, they're like everyone's white, but they're Mexican. And then the subservient roles are people who are indigenous. Now it go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
I don't want to interrupt you. Your flow.
I'm just. No, man. I mean, it goes both ways, right? Here we are celebrating. I did celebrate. I was disheartened though when I saw tweets of Rachel going after different people over the past year. She stands by her. It's her beliefs, but it's this to me. That's the same behavior that what they did to Miranda and Moreno. I don't know if it's the Twitter generation. I don't know what, but I don't need to see that from this actor. Without I'm celebrating because she got the lead role in this movie. This is a historic moment, Mauricio.
Yep.
I don't know if you have anything to add to that. I'm just saying that it kind of goes both ways.
It's also disrespectful to the actors who got the part because they didn't exactly, it's not because they're not talented. They got, they had to go audition and they had to show what they could do. So, to disrespect them and that, that's another thing I didn't like too much.
We had another great question here. Let me back it up. And anyone that wants to ask a question of the gentleman, we're here with Dennis Leoni, Mr. Mauricio Mendoza. Thank you. And thank you guys again for coming on. I know you guys are busy. And Chad, I'm going to say it right now, Mauricio holds the illustrious title of in a play playing my girlfriend's husband. Do you hear that, Romy? Mauricio's on with us. She just said hello.
And I want to hear who she thinks is better.
Hey. Look at Mauricio is a handsome man.
He's already causing trouble.
That Mauricio's a she's like, yes. Mauricio's a handsome man. He's a great actor.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to share this.
Yeah.
My first series was for Telemundo. And it was when Nelly Galan was running Telemundo. I can't remember who the president was at that time. And but I can tell you this. They tried to do Charlie's Angels in Spanish.
Oh, I remember that. Oh.
Right? and I was the Bosley character, and they actually
Whoa.
did something out of the box. They cast a Colombiana, a black Colombiana, as one of the angels.
Right.
So it was like,
that's a big deal.
and this was 20-some years ago. And guess what happened? Nobody watched.
Nobody watched.
After a year, we were canceled.
And that is a whole nother thing there. It's got to be good entertainment. I mean, that's amazing.
That's it.
Says, are you seeing more Latino writers circulating screenplays in the studios? And if so, what types of scripts have you been seeing?
I don't work for studios, so I get pitched all kinds of things, and I really don't develop other people's things.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own things. I have a couple of projects that we were working on, but I don't I don't really look at other people's work at this point. If we get a show, then we'll be looking for writers, and then we'll go from there. But I see a lot of I know of a lot of projects that are people out there, and they've got good stories, but some of these people just don't have the craft, and craft is something you have to develop and work toward. I didn't start out just doing Resurrection Blvd. I worked on 5 series before. I wrote doctors, lawyers, police. I wrote medieval England. I did a show in London for 6 months. So but the bad news about it is once I did Resurrection Blvd, then nobody wanted me to do anything but Latino things.
You're kidding me.
Think I could do anything but Latino things.
I mean, didn't you write with all these television shows prior?
Yes, I wrote The Commish. I wrote
The Commish, yes.
Yeah, I wrote Covington Cross, which was in England, 14th century.
Oh,
I wrote McKenna, which was an outfitter in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote.
You're forgetting to talk about Los Americans that came after Resurrection Blvd.
I wrote and directed Los Americans, and but that's another Latino project that I pushed, and I'm very proud of that. We got no negative anything on Los Americans. It was one of the most positive things in the community because what can they say? I mean, it's all positive characters and Isai Morales and Lupe Ontiveros and Tony Plana and
Raymond Cruz.
Raymond Cruz. I mean, what can you say? But it was another situation where we were able to give a lot of people jobs. And that was Robert Townsend who brought me in to do that.
Wow.
And he's not Latino, not Black Latino. He's African American.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And people,
I do want to say something answer the question. Somebody said talking about the music. I want them to know that the music in The Heights was unbelievable. Yeah. Those numbers, the number in the club is one of the best things musical numbers I have ever seen. And the swimming pool and the one in the barrio where they're all together and they're in the courtyard. And I mean, did I think In The Heights was the be all and end all for all shows Latino? No. I've never lived in Washington Heights. I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm not Dominican. I'm not, any of those things, but I can enjoy it for what it is and what it was. And that's why I support them. And I don't, there are things I could nitpick it and say, it's got this or the story was too long, or I didn't like this part, or, but I don't do that.
Let me ask you this.
It's great because Lin-Manuel got the thing made. And that's what's important. And he gave jobs to people. That's important.
On the conservative, on the low ball conservative, your guesstimate, Dennis, how many people did they put to work just on that movie, in front of and behind the camera?
Oh my God.
Oh, he put it. Well, the entire cast and all the dancers and all the, choreographers and all, I mean,
There's a video running right now on
there are
Facebook
hundreds, had to be hundreds.
about not only how he employed all these people, but the economy in New York, how it boosted the economy in New York during that time.
Really?
So there was so much that he did regarding the film that it boosted so much for everybody.
Well, production was $50 million. They spent $50 million.
Yeah.
Do you think it was marketed correctly? Do you think that Hollywood wanted it to be a little bit more political? You think maybe because you know the piece, Mauricio, you were in it.
I think that the way they did it was right. I think the graphic was right. The fact that they didn't make it a Latin, the way they were pushing it out wasn't it was a fun. The way the trailers were cut, it just looked like a fun film to come watch, a celebration, And so for me, I thought it was the most universal. It's like how they did Jane the Virgin. Jane the Virgin wasn't marketed as a Latin show. It was marketed just as a show.
As a musical.
Right? And then it ended up that people, when they started joining it, that, oh, it's a Latin family, right? Found that through time. But it wasn't pushed as that. And I thought that they did a phenomenal job with the P&A on this one.
Well, if you look at the picture of the poster, it's a Latino family. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
Do you think that, from where I saw it, as far as the PR around it, they were saying that this movie is the representation that we've been waiting for, and movies like The Tax Collector and these other drug movies are not. This is the movie, right? And yet those other movies make a lot of money. They do pretty well, but they're stereotypes.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting how.
What are your thoughts?
Again, a bafflement that a movie that you just talked about can sell so much tickets, and then there's crime, and then all of a sudden it's the stereotype, and yet that movie can do so well. And a movie that reflects, again, love and family and culture and color and putting a two actors, an African American and a Latina, together in this story. People are forgetting there's, it's, yes, the love story right there. People are not even looking. They think that it's a black woman who looks white, but she's an African American, right? I mean, I can't remember what her descent is from right now off the bat. Do you remember what her last?
Nina?
Nina,
the actress.
Yes.
I don't know, but Nina is Jimmy Smith's daughter. The Puerto Ricans.
Right. I would think that she's a black Latina.
Yeah, she is a black Latina for sure.
I can't remember, but okay. So if I'm going off appearances, yes, I'm with you, right? But I want a great performance. I want great stories, right? I just think that got lost, Mauricio, in the presentation of this. And I know you say you saw this, and I'm with you, man. That's the thing. I don't think this was sold enough as a great American story. This is, it blew me away, bro. It blew me away. The performers, the actors. Oh my God. Plus, I have some problems with it, but I'm like, why wasn't it marketed to music groups, theater groups from high school to college, and to regional theaters all over the country? That to me was its audience.
See,
I don't know.
I feel like it was. Latin In The Hieghts has been around since 2009. So anybody
It has two Tonys.
Little Tony.
Four
So
Tonys.
anybody that knows musical theater, this show has got the rights to be done at high schools everywhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't held. It wasn't a show that you had to wait 10 years to get the rights.
Right.
Everybody knows In the Heights when it comes to high schools, colleges, theater people, anybody that knows musical theater and knows Broadway knows the musical In the Heights. So when the movie In the Heights comes out, everybody already on all those all those platforms that you're talking about know, oh yeah, In the Heights, because I've seen it. It's not a new musical. It's a 20-year-old musical that, by my accounts, they did one of the best P&As I've ever seen in a Latin project. They really put a lot of money behind this, this is the reason I was stunned, because I've never seen this kind of. I wish Resurrection had gotten that kind of P&A. Resurrection got a pretty decent P&A, but it didn't get the P&A that it needed to get. Right? And
do you think it was promotional fatigue because they had to keep pushing back the release date, and then it finally came out? I don't know.
I don't think so, because again, we're all through COVID. Oh my God, there's a movie here with music and light. It just
sure. So it should have been like
celebration. Let's go out into the streets and man,
it still should be number one.
You can't figure. You can second guess all you want, and it's a mystery.
Sure.
Yeah.
How it happens. I mean, I've seen horrible shows, and they go through the roof, and I'm like, how did that happen?
Yep.
No.
Elijah Snow comes in with a super chat of $4.99. Thank you, Elijah. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time, your insight into both Telemundo and Hollywood. Thank you, Elijah Snow.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then Lindsay, the cynical geek, she says, when it comes to musicals, I'm what you call a casual fan, but I'd give Into the Heights a shot. You should. If you haven't seen it, Polly says go see.
It's worth seeing. It's terrific.
Yeah, and again, I'm a Latin. I studied musical theater. I got my bachelor in fine arts.
Okay.
So I understand. Again, and it's just all about people not knowing, not paying attention, not looking into history. This is In the Heights is the first musical that was on Broadway, second to Zoot Suit, ever on Broadway, right? So there have been musicals. There was a musical that started Mark Anthony, Cape Man, right? That was on Broadway. So Zoot Suit, Cape Man, In the Heights, right? That was predominantly Latino, right? But In the Heights it's been transformative in all aspects of musical theater.
Correct.
Zoot Suit was transformative, and it's also in its time, but it didn't do what Lin-Manuel has been able to do, which is get another show on Broadway, which is Hamilton, which is the reason they publicize In the Heights with Hamilton. Because everybody knows, especially the younger generation, understands Hamilton. So they go, oh, Hamilton. But they don't know In the Heights until they go, oh, Hamilton. Oh, the creator of Hamilton is the creator of In the Heights. Again, if people did their history and they look back, there has been little movement that Lin has been able to do, and Lin will be able to get another show on Broadway that is Latino based. I think On Your Feet, the Gloria Estefan was, again, because the success of In the Heights, On Your Feet got on Broadway.
Well,
it's about success in something, because it's about money.
I worry that the marginal success, they really, they haven't made their money back. So I worry that, that's not going to be good for Latino projects and Lin-Manuel's projects in general. There's people always going to bet on him because he did Jefferson. He did, he's been very successful, but with the not so successful opening of In the Heights, it's going to hurt him a little bit, and I worry about that. But because he's wildly talented, I don't know him, but I think he's wildly talented.
I sat in and watched In the Heights, and the preview before In the Heights was West Side Story, and I got chills watching it. Right, again, here is unknowns getting the shot of a lifetime, directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, looks great. It looks amazing.
And and again, because I've been at this for 30 years, can see the importance of what's happening. I'm a musical theater guy who wouldn't get to play the leads in college. Right? And then when I got out of college and I was doing professional theater, I was in La Mancha, I was in Vida, but I wouldn't be cast in the. So I understand also, I'm a Latino, what they call in Hollywood the Whitino. I'm a Latino who is not white enough, but not dark enough to be Latino, right? So I don't get called in on things because I'm not dark enough on this type to be Latino. So I know this conversation. I've been at it and it's not that I accept it. That's why I started producing.
Nice.
That's where I said, I'm not going to sit here and get on the bandwagon of complaining. Complain all you want, but I want to do something about it. So I'll just start doing my movies, and I'll start educating through my movies. And whoever watches them, great, and whoever doesn't, great, But at least I know that I'm doing something that's proactive, and that I think it's hopefully going to change this conversation, because I hate to have this conversation 10 years from now, even 5 years from now.
Sure.
I've been having this conversation my whole career.
I know.
Get ready.
I know, brother.
Get ready. Let's get into a little trouble. There's a theory out there that other musical and the people behind that other musical has stifled In the Heights on purpose, because it's coming out the same year, because it's award season and all that good stuff. Is there anything behind that? What I just said to you?
No, I can't. I have no idea.
No.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
It's a movie that needed to make its money back. Nobody's.
And that's the bottom line, and that's the sad part about it.
It didn't make its money. I think in time it will probably make its money back in time. It didn't do the projection, which is
but break even is not good enough.
That's right.
Right. As of today, it's made internationally, including international, $22 million, $55 million budget. So they're saying for it to be a hit, was it 3 or 4 times that 55? So around 200 million. It would have need to. It needs to make, but
yeah, they would have been happy with 200 million, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of bafflement there. I mean, because it is a wonderful piece. And I don't know. I don't know if it was expectation or timing. Maybe people just wanted to see the horror movies. And then the criticism from within. So I don't think any of it helped. But I still recommend people to go check it out. Pay your dollars to go see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it really is different watching in a movie theater than in television.
I saw it in the movie theater.
I mean, it's just
it was a blast. It's a blast.
A whole different experience. And again, it's about I look at I watch Selena. Mm-hmm. I watch Gentrified. Mm-hmm. I watch The Mayans. I watch Fluffy.
Careful.
I watch Baker and the Beauty. I see the progress of things. And when a show is not a hit, the only people it affects is our community, which is why this movie doesn't. Then the executives are going to go, we gave them a shot.
You see?
See? See? We did. So, and then they have an excuse as to why it doesn't work. Right? And that's what the people don't understand. If things become successful, then they'll start greenlighting projects because it comes down to money. It comes down to money.
It's all about money.
Speaking of Dominicans, speaking of New York, RC from the NYC, our Dominican brother from another mother. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well and blessed.
Thank you.
He lives in the Heights. So what we did the review together on last week, and we had a wonderful talk, and it was a great talk, and it was great to hear from someone in that neighborhood to talk about the movie. That was really, really a treat. Thank you, RC.
Oh, Vida. I forgot Vida. Vida. Another
Vida.
show.
You know, which got cut off or just abruptly ended because it had 3 seasons under its belt.
It had 3 seasons, like us.
Yeah, I mean, and I haven't seen it.
Listen, I watch everything because part of what I think I want to be able to do is be so informed. First, when I'm talking about our community. Second is because I'm a producer, I really want to. My career path wants to keep producing because that's where I know I'm going to have the most power and the most say. Right? As an actor, I love to act, but unfortunately, as an actor, unless you're a major star, you have no say in anything.
Right.
So really dictate. My heart is going towards the producing where I think I can make the biggest difference because I don't need it to be about the Mauricio show anymore. I do want to make a difference, you know.
Elijah Snow has a question for you guys. Dennis is right. Do you think the modern residual market will make the money up? Streaming is impacting that a lot.
Well, it's on HBO Max. We still don't know what the deal is with HBO Max. I don't know all the revenue streams. Hopefully, it will make its money back through HBO Max. You know, you never can tell these days. Who knows how that market works?
And also, once the Oscar season comes out, that's going to give the movie a boost because I can't imagine. Again, no expectations, but I can't imagine this movie not getting buzz for the Oscars. So the Oscars are also. I know it's going to also hype the movie.
One of my friends is a producer who's a musical theater guy, and he just absolutely loved In the Heights. And he's a white guy. He's a white Jewish guy. So I have many more friends, I think, who are Anglos and Jews and other than Latino, who seem to really have enjoyed In the Heights. So, you know, it's a mystery to me. It's just I don't get it. I don't understand the negativity.
Yeah, I think everybody right now is really baffled, and anybody who's an activist towards the Latino movement, specifically in Hollywood, I think it's been stumped by this moment. And again, I don't think Dennis and I are saying that we don't understand that Afro-Cuban. We know where that story comes from. We know what the triggers are. Dennis and I have lived the triggers of just being Latinos. We get that. But what I don't get is how, as a community, just as a whole, this movie didn't do the numbers it needed to do. That's the part that shocks me to no end.
Yes, it's a mystery.
And Elijah says Mauricio's humility is so strategic. You're a good man for thinking like that. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you, Elijah.
Yeah, that's how we, you know, the community that the Latino Slant has fostered here loves their stories first, loves their celebrities, loves, you know, being supportive of we geek out, we fan over them, but we just don't like it when the celebrities disrespect the fans. So as you can imagine, you know, you know, and I think that's why, I don't know why people stay. It just seems that people stayed away from this film, and it's a real shame because it actually is a very unique movie. With, you know, for me, with some pacing problems, but that being said, I still recommended it.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can't make everybody happy when you make a film. And again, because I was an actor before, and also I started producing, I remember every light that came up. I'm like, oh, I do that. Oh, and then you get into try to sell your movie to a distribution company, and then you start learning about what it is to just get a movie distributed. You go, oh, right. So every actor should produce, right? Because then they'll have a better understanding of what it just takes to just get something greenlit, right? Just to get it greenlit.
What does greenlit mean?
Get it produced.
Get it made. A couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Really, this is awesome. This is awesome. What is up with Resurrection Blvd season 2 and 3? Because right now we can only get season 1 on DVD. What does the Latino Slant need to do to talk to Paramount? Let us know, because my crowd, everyone in the chat, wants to see Resurrection Blvd.
I've been fighting with Paramount for 20 years, and it's really about the music. So they tell me. When I did the show, I put Carlos Santana, Tom Petty, B.B. King, all these big artists, and they're telling me now that it's going to take a lot of money to clear that music for streaming, and I think that they're going to finally do it. That's what they tell me anyway. But so far we don't have season 2 and season 3, and it has hampered my career, certainly. And people think that this is the only thing I've done for the last 20 years, but it's a frustration for me, and I would really like Paramount to put the second and third season, because we have some really, really good episodes.
Yeah. And
the show overall, I'm very proud of it. And it's, we have some huge stars: Rita Moreno, Henry Darrow, Hector Elizondo, Brian Austin Green,
Lou Gossett
Jr.,
Mauricio Mendoza.
The list goes on, other than the family.
Well, and other than the family, just the depth of talent.
Alonso, you can just go on and on.
Right.
And they don't get seen because they're in season 2 and 3.
See, somebody just said, Elijah, oh God, the music. I said, I didn't even consider it. Right. There's a lot. That's what I'm saying. As a producer, there's so much that happens behind the scenes that people have no idea. And what I do want to say also before we end about the success of projects is Resurrection was successful in the sense that it got 3 seasons, right? Because it did so well, then they started greenlighting other shows, which were the George Lopez show. Then it was American Family. And then Greetings from Tucson came up. The Brothers Garcia. All of a sudden, there was a minute of a point where in 4 years where Resurrection was able to sort of greenlight other projects, right? Because of its success. And that's what people need to understand, is that because of the success of one thing, then other things are going to come, but they have to be successful for them to see that a Latin show or a Latin movie can make money for Hollywood. If we don't make money for Hollywood, then it's not going to come. Because I'll keep making movies, right? But it's also about making money, because I'll stop doing movies if I can't make money at it. As much as I love making movies, hell, I just act and make my own money and worry about just doing that. The successful things have to continue, and it's up to us to make them successful.
We're here with actor Mauricio and actor-producer Mauricio Mendoza. writer, director, creator, Dennis Leoni. Almost wrapping it up, but wow, what a great conversation. How about this? Can't changes be made to the music? Is it that difficult?
Well, I did that in the first season. I took Tom Petty out of the first season, and that broke my heart. I mean, to take some of these artists out, was just devastating to me. But I did do it, and that's the only reason we were able to put the first season out. And it's hard. It's heartbreaking to me that I had to do that, but I had to do what I had to do. There was no choice.
And Stephen On comes in for $5, a member of the channel. Thank you, Stephen. The Tour of Duty DVD does not contain the 60s tunes that were in the original broadcast. Is it just a rights issue? Is there more to it?
They're telling me that it's going to cost $50 million to replace the music, or to put that music out and stream it. So
how much did you say?
We're waiting to hear whether they're going to use the original music or whether I'm going to have to go in and replace it, or they might replace it. I don't know. I don't know. I've been fighting with them for so long that I've just sort of surrendered, and I've done all I can, and I ask people to write Paramount and tell them, and they do. Some do, but again, do we have the support of 50 million people to say, "Hey, what the hell is going on?"
Yeah.
Why don't we have this?
Yeah, we were not. Resurrection was not in that place where shows were, got canceled, and it was so people loved it so much that they moved it to another channel. Those days didn't exist when we.
Well, they didn't do that much in our day,
right? They didn't do any of that. So, yeah, I mean,
did you say that right? 50 million?
Well, there are 65 million Latinos in the U.S. And most of them, and 60% of them are of Mexican descent. So, you'd think that they would all get on board and say, hey, even if we got 10%, how about 10 million? How about 5 million? Somebody step up and say, we want to be represented. We want to be seen. We want, but look, I come from a generation where Mexican was a bad word. You couldn't say that. We were denied. I remember. Look, I'm older than both of you guys, so I remember the days when it's still segregation, civil rights. We had to fight for civil rights. They didn't want Mexicans or dogs or or black people in the pools, in the public swimming pools. So, it's like, it's embarrassing that we're still where we are.
That's a great way to end this. It's actually embarrassing. He said it. It's embarrassing.
Well, I think it's
I've been having to do this for 40 years.
I think it's a great way to remind ourselves. And here at the Slant, I think we're going to do we're going to do a retrospective on Resurrection Blvd and have it here on the channel and get people just to become aware of your incredible show, sir. And but season 1, the DVD is on sale, correct?
Yes, it is.
We got that.
And guess what?
And it's done okay. Not great.
Maybe if I tell them that there is an episode where the shot opens on my butt, maybe people will buy it.
I'm not trying. I don't want to scare them away. The idea is to get them to come and buy it.
If it helps, hey, I throw it in there. My butt is in there.
My heart is in there.
Somebody just get regression, and it's
yes. Lindsay, the cynical geek, did, which is
right.
It is depressing.
That is actually a perfect sentence. It is.
And you know,
That's why
and
I put that in Facebook.
I just want, and I love the community that I have here. They're avid you know, just pop culture fans. How important this show is, what you guys represent, and how difficult it still is.
Yes,
That
it should not be this difficult
yeah,
at this point.
right. Because what I just see is on that tip is a lot of tokenism. And what you had said earlier in regard that McDonald's thing, like we're gonna put up our Latino, he'll be the here. We have our Latino cat. We have all the we're checking all the boxes, but these guys really don't have any say in production or writing or producing.
Well, we want to own the thing. We want
wanna own
ownership.
Right.
We want control over our own things.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
Right. I mean, things are being greenlit. There are shows on the air, right? Like I said, Selena and there are shows, right? But what Dennis is saying is, we want to own. We want that, right?
We want control.
Yep.
To tell our own stories, because then they're authentic, and they're not somebody else making up who they think we are.
Fascinating.
It was like Lupe. She was tired of playing maids. She played 500 maids in her career. She was tired of it. And I understand that. Who's going to play Sotomayor? We need a judge. We need a doctor. We need lawyers. We need, like Nick. Nick wouldn't play the doctor. He was the boss.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know why they killed him, but you know, that's another story.
Yep.
I don't like that, but you know, that their shows, they do what they want.
Yep. Right.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna bid you adieu. I think this is something that, you know, obviously we can just keep on talking, but your insight, your time, your is just so valuable. It's just so awesome. It's so awesome. And I say this to you 100%. The Slant Casa is your casa. Anytime you guys want to come back, if you have any project, anything you guys want to promote, we're here.
Well, hopefully we'll be back soon with Michael DiLorenzo.
Oh yeah. We need to talk about that. That'll be fun. Let's have a proper. Let's talk, Dennis, because we can get the panel, the reunion panel, on a bigger platform, where it's several hundred that'll be a part of it, like we did Stand and Deliver so far, and we did Blood In Blood Out so far.
Yeah,
that was a good time. That was a good time.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much for the invite. It was great.
Thank you so much for having us on the show.
No, you got it. I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys were wonderful. Have a good night, and you know, be sure to check that. We'll put your links back up again one more time. You guys take care, gentlemen.
All right.
Good night.
Wow. Truly amazing to get that type of insight to where even I am blown away. And you know, this is where I tell you guys that, you know, when I see a Sasha Calle get Supergirl, or when I see, you know, breakthroughs in the industry, why it's such a big deal, because it's you know, it baffles me that Resurrection Blvd doesn't have all 3 seasons streaming. It baffles me why Mr. Edward James Olmos still walks into a room and has to, when he's pitching something, has to explain the Latino experience. So I always hold out final judgment when I get the final product. Man, I want to thank you guys. Yes, let's thank these These gentlemen here, thank you for your valuable time. Thank you so much. 300 mirrors. We have so many great stories with great lore where they need to be told. There. Look out for Maya in the 3. That is going to be debuting. It's a new animated show on Netflix that is going to be debuting very soon. And it's the same maker from the Book of Life, Gutierrez. I forgot his first name. But that looks amazing. And that is, based off of Aztec and Mayan lore. So, yeah. Paul at Spielberg, my Tim. Oh my God. Creation by Mo 1999. Thank you for being here, man. RC from the NYC. Orale. What an incredible community you guys are. All right, what an amazing day that we had here. We had our morning show with Robert Meyer Burnett and Lorena Crio. This show, if you haven't seen them, please check them out. Got a lot of great stuff on the channel. This Friday night, join us for Karaoke Geeks. David Bowie songs versus Prince songs. David Bowie versus Prince. And who's going to win? Who's going to sing the best Bowie? Who's going to sing the best Prince? That's this Friday night, Karaoke Geeks. And I just, it's been a very fulfilling week so far, and it's only Wednesday. I'm going to head on over to say hello to Nina Infinity. If you do so, please make sure you let her know that the Latino Slant sent you. And I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the memberships, upgrades as of today. And let me just say, what I always say, wherever you are, keep your slant fuerte. Paz y dale gas.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The slant. The slant. All right, Paul, let's go.